It's 100% a revolution, Ian. People are out in the streets. They're saying down with the dictator, down with the Islamic Republic. People are done with the Sharia law that has oppressed them for the last 47 years. And they're also chanting, this is the final battle. Pahlavi will return. Of course, Pahlavi is a reference to the king of Iran, Reza Pahlavi, who's currently in exile right now. He has a transition plan to lead the country from a totalitarian Islamic dictatorship into a functioning secular democracy. And Iranians only trust him to lead them through that transition process.
And this is the son of, right, that we're talking about here?
Yes, absolutely. He is the son of the former Shah of Iran.
Yeah. Is this likely to happen? Because as far as I can see, and do correct me if I'm wrong, the issues are multiple. There is, as you rightly say, the Islamist dictatorship, as it were, that has thread its way through everybody's life and made it hell for so many people. But of course, and perhaps interconnected, I suppose intrinsically connected, are the economic issues, inflation and goodness knows what else. There is a real risk that whoever were to take over would still be faced with these fundamental problems.
Oh, absolutely. So one of the things that we have to do is rebuild the country, because after 47 years, the Islamic dictatorship has essentially taken us back to the 7th century. Prior to 1979, Iran was a secularized, modernizing country that was slowly becoming like South Korea. It was becoming the South Korea of the Middle East, or even the Japan. But the Islamic dictatorship, they're a fundamentalist totalitarian regime. All they do is they basically stolen the money that should be going to the Iranian people, and they spend it on terrorism, not just in the Middle East, but around the world. And Iranians are currently in poverty right now. And so the issue, you're right, it's not just the economy, it's human rights violations, it's lack of water, it's lack of clean air, it's environmental issues. And of course, the biggest one is the fact that Iranians are being murdered at the hands of the Islamic Republic for the last 47 years.
Reporting in Iran. Plus, there's been no internet for days. Iranian authorities shut it down to contain the demonstrations and cover up atrocities, according to human rights groups. The world is now waiting to see if US President Donald Trump follows up on his threat to strike Iran's regime for killing protesters. Iran's parliamentary speaker says any attack would see Iran strike US military bases in the region and Israel, which is reportedly on high alert. Daniela Sapiri is a German-Iranian activist based in Berlin. How dangerous has it become to take to the streets of Iran right now?
It's extremely dangerous for the people to go out and protest, and they still do it. We are getting reports, horrible reports of massacres happening in Iran. Hospitals are under a lot of pressure. There are not enough doctors. Reports have been saying that the regime is shooting directly at the people's head and chest and face, and that they don't have enough surgeons to treat all these patients, and that even regime forces are coming inside the hospitals to kidnap the wounded ones.
We've been hearing of head injuries, eye injuries, and doctors talking about hundreds of dead. Is there any way to verify these videos that are coming in, the numbers that are coming in?
It's completely difficult to verify the numbers that we are getting because of the internet shutdown. Through Starlinks, it is possible to get some of the videos. Iranian exile media is verifying them all day long. BBC, for example, has talked to 2 hospitals. In Rash, there were 70 people dying in just one hospital in just one day. And we can only assume that there must be thousands of people that have been murdered only in this last 2 or 3 days.
What makes the Iranian regime think this sort of reaction will have some sort of success when the people are obviously desperate?
This is the only answer that the regime has, and this has been going on for decades. We have seen it in protests before, that the regime can only answer with violence because they do not care for the people's demands, they do not care for the people's well-beings. But this kind of crackdown is the most brutal that we have ever seen before. Me personally, I have never seen anything like this before. This is even way more brutal than November 2019, where the internet was also shut down for a whole week and there have been 1,500 deaths. But this is way more brutal than ever before.
أذلهم ونصر عمده. الحمد لله. هذول مشاريع الفدرالية.
ولی بخواد پای این لجنزارا و صهیونیست و سکتوله‌هاش جا باز بشه، نه. ما هرچی هم با هم دیگه مشکل داشته باشیم، ولی این که بخواید اینجا قد علم کنید، نه. ما هستیم، جونمون رو پای این کشور میذاریم.
هیچ کشوری به ایران من نمیتونه دست بزنه.
یا فریب خوردن یا کلا از جاهای دیگه اومدن. ما مردم تهرانیم و باشش هم وایسادیم.
As a man committed to peace and fighting evil forces. There is a reason why people in Iran are renaming streets after your name. They know that you are totally opposite to Barack Obama or Joe Biden. They know that you're not going to throw them under the bus as they have had before.
In Iran, as Iranian citizens take to the streets over its failed economy and skyrocketing inflation, up 50%. Food prices surging more than 70%. President Trump has warned Khamenei there will be severe consequences if protesters are killed. But the Wall Street Journal is reporting that Iran is threatening to strike U.S. military bases in the Middle East if the U.S. tries to take down the Iranian regime. Here's the president on Friday.
Iran's in big trouble. It looks to me that the people are taking over certain cities that nobody thought were really possible. I've made the statement very strongly that if they start killing people like they have in the past, we will get involved. We'll be hitting them very hard where it hurts.
At how long it took the BBC even to mention anywhere high up its agenda the protests, the widespread countrywide protests in Iran against the theocracy, the sort of pro-jihad theocracy that Ali Khamenei and his people have basically imposed on that country. And while, for example, we saw a dispatch from their diplomatic correspondent, Caroline Hawley, that was absolutely full of mistakes. There were false starts, re-recording voiceover, glitches on the audio, and the fact that nothing had been said hardly about it until the celebrities started tweeting. And this has been going on for about 2 weeks now, and it was